Hello, welcome to the Bentley Report. My name's Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
I'm Yan Dawson. Ni hao.
Ni hao, Yan. It's good to have you on board.
Thank
and
you.
A new face here, thank you. And we'd like to know a little bit about you because you're part of our Bentley groove and our Bentley team. And tell us about yourself, what's going on in the Bentley world, and tell us about your world.
Yeah, I'm very honored to be part of the Gary Peer Bentley office. So because now the market is getting better, there are lots of Chinese buyers in the area looking to buy. So we're really happy to service them, and so hopefully we can, get in there.
Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is because it's if we had to say, well, we understand that you can help the Chinese buyer, but what about those buyers, those German buyers who want to buy?
Yeah.
Can they speak to you in their native language?
Yes, I think that is one of my advantage because I speak Mandarin, my background from China. And yes, when I was talking to them, they feel more comfortable.
Yep.
When I talk in Mandarin, I think they help us to easily to build the relationship.
And what about when they speak to you in German?
Yeah,
The Deutsch
yeah,
sprechen. What about that?
Secret talent you have, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's not a lot of people that can
Right.
speak Mandarin and German. Tell us about your
Yeah.
German history.
Yeah, this is a little bit long story.
Make it short for us.
Yeah, I started my master degree back in 2000, and so I started my master there. So I speak
In Stuttgart?
German.
Was it Stuttgart?
In Stuttgart, that's
Fantastic.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's a German buyer or vendors, I can also speak to them.
So
German.
you have to be careful. I'm going to tell you a little secret here. You have to be careful what you say in German because I understand a bit of German
Oh,
because both of
yeah.
my parents spoke German in the home, given that they were Austrian. So you just have to be careful. If you say things in Mandarin, I won't catch you out. But if you say things in German, I might
Yes.
understand.
Absolutely.
I would love to talk a little bit about the Asian market that's in Bentley and surrounds.
Yes.
We saw a few years ago that the Asian buyers were very aggressively buying at the top end, and then they kind of disappeared a little bit away, and now they're coming back a bit. Is that what it looks like to you as well?
Yeah, I think because there are some new rules and the Chinese government trying to, help, control the money flowing to the overseas.
Yep.
But now the Chinese buyer come back again to the market because of the schools.
Yeah.
Because
Do you think that's a big influence, Yan? Because
Yeah.
as someone that stands lots of doors and some of them with you,
Yeah.
I've seen in the last 3-4 months
Yeah.
definitely a bigger proportion of Chinese buyers, and not necessarily new Chinese to Australia, but Chinese people that maybe live in Box Hill, in Mount Waverley, and they're coming to Bentley, to Caulfield, and I get a feeling it's to schools. Is that the same feeling as you're getting?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think this area where Gary Peer, selling the properties, there are lots of good schools in Caulfield, in Bentley area.
Yep.
So I think that is main reason they're moving this area.
And without generalising too much, what are the schools that a lot of the Chinese families that you're dealing with, what schools do they want their children to be in?
Yeah, there are some public high school like McKinnon Secondary College.
That's popular,
So one of the very popular suburb in McKinnon.
Yes.
And also a lot of Chinese family, they like to send their kids to private schools.
Yep.
Such as Caulfield Grammar.
Yep.
Go Shelford School.
My old
and
school,
Melbourne
Caulfield Grammar?
Yes.
Not Shelford. They didn't get to Shelford.
Well,
Shelford
they
is
used to hang
still-
around Shelford
Yeah,
a little
well,
bit.
we
but it
tried.
wasn't- Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, that's good to know. I mean, and where are people moving from? A lot of people are buying in and around McKinnon, Bentley. Where are they
Yeah.
coming? Which other areas are they coming from?
You mean background from China?
No, even
Yeah,
within
yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, they are from some of already in local area for
Okay.
decades, and now for them they have some new needs and and some are part from Glenville
Yep.
and Bowen North
Or north.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they move back to this area.
It's interesting, some communities have historically migrated.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of South Africans when they immigrated and they came to Templestowe, Doncaster.
Yep.
A lot of those South Africans moved across to Caulfield and surrounding areas. A lot of Russians lived in Bentley and have shifted into Caulfield as well.
Yep.
Or
We're in
when
St Kilda East.
well,
And
that's it. I mean, when
yeah.
I worked in Ackland Street in the 80s, I was renting apartments to Russian people that were coming out, literally like off the boat,
Yeah.
renting.
I think
And
we
then a
came
lot
on
of
the
them-
plane.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But they rocked up
Yeah.
wanted to be in Elwood, that whole Tennyson Street vibe,
Absolutely, that vibe,
and then a lot of those people then bought apartments in Elwood and then moved to Bentleigh. A lot have settled in Bentleigh, and which is a great part of your market, and some of those have moved as well within Bentleigh and the surrounding suburbs. So it's interesting how some people are, migrate and shift into suburbs where there are some of their fellow countrymen and they feel comfortable, or where the amenities are great. And I think McKinnon High is a big attraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we see you often on the weekends, out and about at auctions, speaking to people in Mandarin. Do a lot of the Mandarin speaking people that you deal with have comfort in the fact that you have a similar background to them? Is that something that you think you have an advantage about?
Yes. I think absolutely.
Yeah.
The build up the trust.
If I can add to that, I feel, because obviously in our areas there's a big percentage of Chinese people and Asian people coming through. There's actually a big disproportionate amount of Chinese agents. There's hardly any other Mandarin-speaking agents in our core markets, which really surprises me, and I think it's a great advantage that Gary Peer has, not only in the Bentleigh office,
also
but
in Carnegie as well.
We've got Mandy, who speaks Chinese from
that's right, our
from
Carnegie office.
Carnegie office. But certainly, I feel when I stand at the door and there's two of us, and a buyer of a Chinese background comes through, they sort of flock to Yan and ignore me a little bit, because they do feel more comfortable. And whether it's a language or a cultural barrier, I think Yan is easily crossing those barriers if there are any.
Yeah, and can I also ask you, some people who are coming from overseas, they need to go through a process of being able to buy to make sure that they get approval. Are you able to help them with that process as well?
Absolutely. Because as overseas investor, they need to apply FIRB first to be able to purchase a property in Australia.
Which is Foreign Investment Review Board, for who doesn't know what people don't know what FIRB is.
The solicitors, to assist them.
So you've got some good contacts that you could, if someone rang you and said, I'm coming to Australia, I'm here on either a temporary visa or trying to get my permanent visa, you'd have the right contacts that you can set them up, someone that can speak their language, help them get to the process and help them eventually buy. Excellent.
Now I want to ask you a different question. we've got lots of questions for you today. One of them is about Feng Shui.
Right.
So can you tell us and tell the viewers, because some people are they misunderstand or they don't quite know, what in the world of Feng Shui is the most important thing for buyers who are believing in that, in Feng Shui?
I think this is kind of a part of Chinese culture regarding Feng Shui. Some people believe there's some positive energies.
Yes.
But not everybody believes that.
No. So if you're number 44, is somebody with an Asian background going to buy that house, or is it a little bit hesitant?
It's hesitant because 4 instead for death in Chinese. So
I heard 14 is the worst. Is that right?
No.
Not the worst. I heard wrong. I heard it was the worst.
I think unit 44 at number 44 is probably going to struggle a little bit. Does everybody subscribe to the Feng Shui, or are there some people that don't?
Really.
No.
Not
but are there
everybody.
some people that are very strong about it, very firm?
Yes.
And do you have access to a Feng Shui master that can come and have a look at a home for somebody?
I can
Is that
try
something
to help them. Yes.
Is that something people do often, or sometimes, where they will actually bring a Feng Shui master who will basically rate the energy of a home? Is that something that people will do
not quite
sometimes?
Popular, I think. But there are people who had this kind of demand. Then
We've had it a few times.
We've had it. And without generalising too much, is there a sort of property that a lot of people with Chinese or Asian background would prefer versus something else? Do they like solid brick or big land or modern, or is there any sort of particular property?
I think they prefer brick house, and also a lot of Chinese buy the not happy with the property with a swimming pool.
Right.
Because for them that's will be
bit unsafe.
A swimming pool is not a feature necessarily?
Not a favourable.
And is it possible that we'll find people who are buying homes like that from the Asian community that will actually fill the pool? Is that possible as well?
Yes.
Can that happen? Yeah,
Yes,
it can happen, because we've seen that. We've seen that also just in the general population. We've seen some people where the swimming pool hasn't been such a big deal. There's some people that will walk in and they'll say, "Wow, pool, unbelievable," and others will say, "I'm not so sure." And we have had cases where people actually fill them in and won't pay.
And some regulations coming about that, Gary. So for viewers of GPTV across all our different shows, if you have a pool, there's probably going to be some new rules in the next month. So just get that checked out for pool safety as well.
They have to be safe. I mean, it's you would have a lot of respect for council to enforce safety. Although I always find it incredible when you go to parks and open spaces. There's always one that comes to mind in Seymour Road, in the park there, Halston Park. I think it's is it Halston Park? I think so. And it's a park with kids, and in the middle of the park there's all these rocks and water. And there's, and you think, well, if someone in a private home's got all these restrictions, but the council is responsible for a park, can have it so people could just fall in and kill themselves and basically drown. It's always fascinating. Okay, well that's good to be able to get your input. How are you enjoying working in real estate? How are you enjoying being part of the team? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm really lucky, I think, be part of Gary Peer team. I think that's industry you can, the more you work on, you feel more passionate about.
Yes.
The most important thing for me, a lot of the customer I'm dealing with can become friends of mine. So
Yes.
I feel really proud
Yes.
to be a real estate agent.
Yes, and one of the other things that I want to thank you for is because even though you're working in our Bentley office, the culture of our business is that all of the offices work very much together. So we'll see you often at a St Kilda home, or we'll see you at a home in Caulfield where you'll be helping some people who maybe the English is not so good, and they'll speak to you, want you to help them, maybe not in German, but more so in Mandarin.
Yeah, of course.
And certainly that is something else that I just want to thank you for, because Jan does spread herself across the group and really does share herself around, her skills around, so which is wonderful. And there's not many people that can say G'day, Ni Hao and Auf Wiedersehen in the same sentence as you can. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
well,
much.
thanks for being on. Is there any message you've got for your clients that you'd like to share in Mandarin, perhaps?
你好，中国的朋友们，欢迎大家观看我们 JPTV。希望呢你们能够喜欢我们，然后有什么需要帮助的，可以随时联系我我是在Gary Peer Bentley Office。谢谢。
Do you agree with that?
I think so. That was,
I think so
I was
too.
about to say, she said it a bit better than I would have.
Look, I wouldn't have put it quite that way, but I think it was pretty good. And can I ask you to translate what you said then?
Yeah, I just said introduce myself, and if say we are servicing the people in the area, Caulfield and Bentley. If you got any questions and need any real estate assistance, please come back to me. I'm happy to help.
Thank you. Now you also have a very good database of clients, Mandarin-speaking clients. I know we had an auction recently, Kinross Avenue. The vendors were Chinese, and
Found them on WeChat, I think.
Found WeChat, and so were a number of the buyers.
And also, I got another property in auction this weekend.
Yes.
Laura Street, Caulfield South.
One at 5 Laura Street in
That's
Caulfield
right.
South.
Yeah, welcome.
Also, tell me, WeChat, do you feature the homes that you're selling on WeChat as well? Do you have some forum?
Yes.
It's very big, isn't it? It's very big,
exactly.
yeah. Well, we're understanding and learning a lot of the culture.
I love it.
And you bring, I love it too, and you bring a whole new, fresh, lot of ideas to the company, so we thank you for that. And if you need anything in the real estate world in Bentley or in any of our areas, speak to Jan Dosen, you'll be all the better for it. Thanks for being on the show, Jan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Cheers. Okay, thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks
Jan.
very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So good to have Jan here.
Fantastic.
She's a wonderful lady, and she's got some incredible skill and talent, and understands real estate, doesn't she?
Yeah, and a great benefit to the company, and not only like our Bentley office, but the entire team. She's a great help. A local resident, someone I sold a property to, and that's how I found her, Gary.
There you
when
go.
I needed it, I knew the importance of having a Mandarin-speaking agent, and found her on LinkedIn.
Well, great for the company, but really great for the buyers and the sellers, because so many people gravitate towards somebody that can speak to them, explain what's going on, who they trust and understand. So
and I've had that benefit in the Russian community as well. I think,
No question about it.
I've had a great support from them. Hello, Russian community, if you're
Yeah,
watching.
I've had that benefit in the Carlton supporting community, the racing community, Leon, so no problem at all. I've got the same sort of,
Got to
connection.
reach far and wide to get our listings in our business.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about some of our sales, because there's been some good ones, and I could say that the stock levels have been very low, and it's been disappointing for buyers and disappointing for real estate agents. But geez, there've been some strong results, and last weekend I think we added up, there were 45 bidders that people had actually put their hand up ready to perform at our auctions. So we're averaging now over 3 bidders per auction as of last weekend. One of the sales that we made that was interesting was the property in Folkestone Street. It was a bit of a landmark sale.
It was, we covered it last episode's GPTV Bentley. It sold, it was a near new family home built by Thomas Archery in the McKinnon School Zone that we spoke about with Jan, which is highly sought after. We can disclose it sold for $2,045,000, which was under competition from 3 bidders. It was also just a little bit of statistics, the most expensive under the hammer sale in that postcode for over 12 months.
Okay, wow, there you go.
So that was a really good one to get away. Very happy vendors, and also really happy buyer, a terrific family home.
For one reason or another, we seem to be getting some really good prestigious listings, and I think some of the buyers at the upper end, maybe they're attracted to our brand because they know we sell a lot of good homes, or we're bringing buyers across our offices from Carnegie and Caulfield and St Kilda. One of the other great homes that we've sold is the home in Coronation Street in Brighton East. I enjoyed doing that auction together with you, working on it. A very happy vendor. Tell us a bit about that sale.
Yeah, that came together beautifully. Where we, it was interesting that the owners were a bit apprehensive about going to the market, and we showed a few buyers through just from our database before it went online and before there was a board, and we found 2 buyers that were the best, were ready to go, but weren't quite the price to do the deal before. And we took it to the market, met another 120 people, and lo and behold, the last 2 buyers are the same 2 buyers that we found from our database.
So the database is very powerful.
Yeah.
It's very relevant, isn't it? And works particularly well. And I know that was a vendor that was absolutely delighted, and it was a pleasure to perform well for them. Sold for $1,675,000.
And I think the auction process nicely made the buyers feel comfortable to pay the right price. I think they were hesitant to buy it when they kind of didn't feel that pressure, but when they were there and sort of eyeballing each other in a friendly way, they were comfortable to meet the market at the price that was required.
Now you're running you're the director of our Bentley office. You're running that area. You're a specialist in that area, but you're selling all over the place.
We are.
Still servicing all your clients who Caulfield, St Kilda and everywhere else. But it just seems to be that you're doing a lot in East Brighton. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, look, it's an area that I focused on probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it's just a natural area when I look at our, I guess our core dominant market from the past decade has been sort of Caulfield South, that pocket of East Brighton, that sort of borders
good for us, hasn't it?
Nepean Highway and Thomas Street and North Road. It's really South Caulfield or West Ormond, and it's sort of we're certainly seeing the buyers, the same buyers looking in that Gardenvale Primary School sort of zone, and we find that the same buyers look there, but the buyers that are really looking to buy in Bay Street, Church Street, in the the beachside East Brighton probably aren't crossing that road as easily as people are crossing North Road South. That's what I've always found.
We've got a few other sales, so we're running out of time. A few other sales quickly review that you want to talk about?
Absolutely. So we had a really successful 2 sales of 2 apartments in Quinns Road in Bentley East. And it's just a beautiful synergy of how our company works, where Julian Millman, who's actually based in this building in the NRC, our new residential collections building in Caulfield North.
Specialising with off the plan.
Had a couple left in a development that was nearly built. The first sale happened in about a week, where Adriana, who sits in our Carnegie office, introduced a buyer to a property in East Bentley. They took them down there, they made the sale. We quickly sold another one in that building, and we have 2 left, and one of them comes up for auction next month. So I just really love how that synergy, even though I and none of my team from the Bentley office directly had anything involved, we are servicing that area all across our network.
Well, the true winners are the buyers and sellers, aren't they? Because the buyers get offered everything, not just a limited amount that that one sales agent has or that one office has, and of course sellers get that that breadth of resources being offered to them through all of the agents that are offering properties to all the buyers. We've got some good offerings coming up. Talking about offerings, you want to tell us a little bit about what's coming through?
Yeah, there's a few really good ones, and I'll start off at 37 Stewart Street, Ormond. We've touched on the McKinnon School Zone already, and this property goes live online this week and scheduled for auction, I think on the 21st of September, the Saturday before the grand final. And
it's a great looking property, isn't it?
It is. It's got that really classic period California bungalow facade. It's easily rentable and livable as is, but it's certainly a home that just says
could make a great reno. Couldn't it?
Let's put a modern extension at the back there within that school zone on the west side of the street. Not that we don't love the east side, but it's on the west side. It has great northern western light in the back. 664 square metres of land, and we're sort of in that 1.3 to 1.4 range. So I'm hoping that's popular in that price point with many buyers.
Yeah, we're looking forward to launching that one, and not long to wait. What else is coming up?
Yeah, we've got 136 Tucker Road in Bentley that goes online again this week. And this is a really good family home for someone that wants to move in and get a full block of land at probably the entry-level price point. So we think that's going to be in the $900 to $1 million range.
Value, isn't it?
It's a corner block. It's on about 580 square metres.
Nice.
It's a 3 to 4 bedroom, pretty much original condition, very clean and tidy cream brick house, and we'll probably be standing in it if we can behind us.
Sure, of course.
And
it feels good.
I just think that if the option is to buy something that might be subdivided at that price, at the same price point, if you can get in freestanding block of land, and maybe make some cosmetic changes as time and money allows, that's a great little buy.
That's great value. So there's a few of our offerings. Anything else before we wrap up the show?
Yeah, there's just one more, and I probably said to you personally 6 or 8 months ago, buy a cream brick 50s house in East Bentley. They're going 8 to 850. It sounds cheap, Gary. These are going to go up. They quickly went to 950. Now I literally think they're $1 million, $1.05 million now. They have really come up.
Well, we could go through all of our listings and it would be a lot longer, but I think that's a bit of a snapshot of some of the premium listings, some of the great sales that you should be aware of. And of course, great to have Yan on the show, talking to all of her Asian clients and friends, and certainly another advantage of the Gary Peer Network and the Bentley office and the whole group, let's face it, because she spreads herself around as wonderful people like that do. That's a big wrap. We're going to be coming back to you through next episode will be right in the thick or the heart of spring, but certainly the market feels a lot better. It has changed. There's a lot of buyers out there, and gee, it changed quickly, didn't it? It really
Yeah, it
changed
took
quickly.
18 months to sort of drop
Yeah.
a certain amount, and it's taken about 10 weeks to get 2/3 of those drops probably
this is
back.
No
you know.
longer, I've been saying, this is no longer a market in recovery. This is a recovered market where things are going from strength to strength. We're going to see a very strong spring, it feels like to me. You?
Question,
Yeah.
I agree. Question without notice.
Yep.
This by the time this airs next month,
Yep.
we're going to have a premiere. Who's your grand final tip, Gary?
Oh, wow. Well, you know, I reckon the Tigers are looking good. I've got to say that to you.
Yeah.
I think the Tigers are looking really good at the
Okay.
moment. Your
And
thoughts?
Well, I think that's one of the two. Who's
Yeah.
the other one?
Oh, I think the other team I'd have to look at. Well, I don't know if Brisbane will make it. No, I'm not going to say Essendon, so don't even think about saying Essendon. I think Tigers, and I think possibly either Collingwood or West Coast. Your thoughts?
Richmond Collingwood grand final will be
we're
100,000
there.
people in the ground
Right.
and 100,000 outside wanting to get in. I think
Yeah.
it'll be one of the biggest grand finals in recent
It
memory.
would be, it would
and
be.
I'd be happy to be wrong if the red and black's there, but I don't like my chances.
Well, go the mighty Tigers. I'm a Carlton supporter, but you know, if you're allowed to have a second team, I think you are. It's always been the Tigers.
Get on the
Always love
bandwagon.
them. Exactly right. On the Tigers bandwagon, it's a big wrap on GPTV Bentley edition. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
See you next month.
Goodbye.